Alright, for this super feature match, we have 60 card Lightsworn versus Brandish Maiden or Strikeblade, if you want to call it that. Now, for this match, we have on the left side, Team Dank deals Marcus, and on the right side, we have MST.TV Tombox. That's just me, actually. And MS Team stands for My Sexy Team. And Marcus is actually going to kick off this match by going first. Oh, he has one of the crappiest hand here. So I hope you guys enjoy the face cam and everything. I tried a new setup and hopefully everything kind of works out. That's why there's kind of no audio on this one. Starting off with a Pot of Desires. I just let him go through because I have no hand trap whatsoever. And now he goes into a Brilliant Fusion. Okay, well, Brilliant Fusion does open up a lot of options. Not only does it potentially puts out 2 monsters onto the field, the 60 card decks, all of them are very good at diversifying their play and just branching out to, I don't know which way they're gonna go, and then they're gonna end with some really fancy board, usually with some form of Omega. So he is starting off with a Trick Clown and a Garnet in the grave with the Seraphonite. Now he uses additional normal summon for a draw. What the hell is he doing? Summoning a hand traps! Well, better use them now and convert them into some sort of value. So going into the Saryuja, his hand, oh my god, he showed the camera 2 wolves. He's unbricking his hand. I think that's a good use of those hand traps, and he gets to get rid of the 2 wolves, and he gets to refill his entire hand with much livelier cards compared to what he had before. Okay, so he's putting back 3 cards. The 2 wolves are definitely leaving his hand and going straight down to the bottom, and now he's going to go into Rhoda to get a good shuffle, and he gets to add another card. Now note that he did use his normal summon and the additional normal coming from the Seraphonite, but Saryuja also offers another special summon, so I guess he's not quite done yet. So overall, I guess I don't have to worry about Draw and Lockbird, since Draw and Lockbird is one of the scariest cards to use against a Brandish Maiden deck. I'm going to call them Brandish Maiden for now. I guess I can call them Strikeblade. I don't even know what they're going to be called in the future. Let's just call them, I'll just mix and match, I guess. So he adds a Raiden, he uses a special summon of Saryuja, and now he's going to get himself a nice double mill. Now remember, Saryuja does not need to summon into an arrow, but if you do summon into an arrow, you do get a bit of an attack boost. So the mill sucks. Okay, never mind, it does not suck whatsoever. He opens into a Soul Charge. He's gonna take 4k worth of payment. It's not really payment, he just loses that much life based on how many he can actually summon out. Okay, that's fine. And he goes into the first Omega. Omega gets a boost, but it doesn't really matter because he's removing it. And I fan out the cards. Number 2, 3, 4. The 4th card closest to my deck. He hits a Brandish Widow Anchor. And he makes a second Omega. Here's the thing about the Omegas right now, is that any 60 card deck, if you can go into multiple Omegas, just go into the multiple Omegas just because you can shred your opponent's hand and they don't have a turn. And next turn, you come back with lethal. I think that's his goal right now. So I top decked I believe that was a Call by the Grave. Unfortunately, Call by the Grave isn't exactly good on my first turn. Sadly, the deck has to run so many copies of it, mainly because you don't want to get hit by any sort of hand trap. In particular, you don't want to get hit by the Draw and Lockbird that shuts your entire turn out. But I don't even have a single monster. What's going on here? Alright, I'm going to activate the multi-roll. This is kind of like a Spellbook of Judgment for those who don't know. For every single spell card or Brandish Maiden spell card that you activate, what happens is during the end phase, you get to set as many of them from the graveyard back onto the field equal to the number you activated, as long as they're all different names. So he's coming back up with the double Omega. I don't think I like where this is going. He's going into a rank 4. He's going to Minerva. He's going to proceed to mill more cards. I'm already pretty dead here. There's not much I can really do. Saryuja has himself a nice 28 body. You have 2 28s from the Omegas as well. So I'm going to use a Widow Anchor. I'm going to negate, I guess I negated the Minerva. So Minerva does not get a mill. It doesn't really matter. Just the sheer amount of damage coming like in my face right now. It's basically punching a hole right in my gut. It's going to be over. The only reason why I try to save up everything. Oh! Hold on, maybe I'm alive. No, I'm definitely not. There's still the 2 Omegas. That's basically gonna kill me and the Saryuja. So I managed to stop the snow from coming up by chaining my Call by the Grave, but he is not overcommitting. He is making sure that there's always going to be lethal on the board. And okay, get rid of his Trick Clown as well. And I guess that kind of reveals everything. I'm basically at show hand at this point. All in. I'm dead. Instant GG for the game one. That was a very quick game one. That was very one-sided. So if he did not rip away that terraforming, the game would have been completely different. Absolutely different. Because I could have ate all the hand traps easy, and multi-roll would have gotten the Brandish Maiden out. I just couldn't get there this time. That was unfortunate. And the 2 Call by the Grave would have set up and synergized with my Maiden spell so I can get the second effect. Alright, so going into game 2 with 1 game on Dank Deals. Is it MST versus Dank Deals? Both of us are pretty good fam. We're good friends here. So open it with a Toon Table of Contents. Now this is a card that we all definitely want to see in our hands, especially for all of us Brandish Maiden players, because we immediately can kick off the second effect of all of our spells. And that is actually a really big thing, though that effect failure spell now becomes like an enemy controller that steals your monster. Your monster popper becomes a spell popper as well. Your spell popper gains I guess monster popping capability. There's just a lot of benefits, and your search card is now a +1, basically a pot of greed that's not once per turn. You get to search 1 card and draw 1 card, and nothing is once per turn. And I also open with the multi-roll. That is good, but there's some hesitation coming on my side. I don't look too happy right now. I look pretty damn sad. It doesn't seem like I can push this play very far. I don't think there's a copy of Startup Engage available. So starting with the... yeah, using multi-roll, sending the Hornet Bit into the graveyard. Now bear in mind that in this deck, there is no Needle Fiber. I'm trying to keep this as TCG release as possible. Needle Fiber currently isn't announced in TCG, so I had to remove every single instance that potentially could have been used for a Needle Fiber. So in that regard, this hand would have been very good for Needle Fiber play, but this is not something I have available. I actually had to strip it out of my extra deck and had to take away a lot of other cards too, just to refit it so that it's like closer to the release. But of course, it's just a proxy game. If Needle Fiber comes out, we'll probably do another game or two like this. So I go into Kagadi. Kagadi will re-add the Hornet Bit, and now I go into the Shizuku. Now Shizuku, I have to point to the center because it's more likely that your opponent can point to the center than to the edge, so you want to minimize the zones your opponent has available. So end phase. Here's a fun thing: if you do have Shizuku, you can actually set the card that you just added to hand, basically. So I'm gonna add a Widow Anchor to hand, but I'm actually going to immediately activate that Widow Anchor and targeting my own Shizuku. And then I'm going to use multi-roll to set that onto the field, therefore making it live and giving me a level of protection that I couldn't have had without it. Because my back row basically are just duds now. So he's opening with a Gold Sark. Okay, Gold Sark. Don't know what he's going into at the moment. He just went through his entire deck just now. So I do have a Brandish Maiden Ray in the graveyard so that if Shizuku is removed from the extra monster zone, I could just special summon her out as an added wall of defense. So he's going for Giant Rex. Giant Rex special summon. So he's gonna go into the normal summon of Raiden. Raiden's gonna mill a couple of cards here. 1, 2. I was gonna go straight to left arm. Well, I don't have a response to his left arm offering. I don't have any hand traps available currently. So left arm offering is gonna go through. He's gonna get his grass, and if we're gonna count grass, this is not looking good. Remember, usually grass means 90% of the time it's going to be game. So after counting out the cards, I believe he gets like a 19 card mill or so, something like that. I can't do the math right now without actually going into counting. I believe he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 10 cards, and I actually have access to 9 of my cards. He is going to go get a 19 card mill or something like that. Somewhere around there. Wow, good mill. Wolf. Damage Juggler and 1000 Blade. 2, 3. There it is. So yeah, I think that's a 19 card. So double Wolf. That's actually a pretty good mill. But the only card I haven't seen so far is Snow. Fairy Tail Snow is not available right now, but he is going to get himself a nice hat trigger to special summon onto the field, basically flooding the board. In terms of the attack of all his monsters, most of them are pretty weak at the moment because don't forget Shizuku does weaken the entire board based off of the number of spells in my graveyard. And I get to negate and steal one monster just in case. If I am going to take lethal damage, the Widow Anchor will come in handy to actually block that attack. So he's going to overlay. It's probably a Minerva at this point if he's going to go into that. He can technically go into a Saryuja too if he really wants to kick things up a notch. No, he's going to go into Minerva. Minerva detach! Mill 3. Mizuki in Solitaire. Oh my god. That is a really, really good mill. That opens another line of play. Remember, the 60 card decks are all about multiple small lines of play that add up to a ton of advantage. All it is just a bunch of small engines that offer free summons, and then you can potentially just go into big links and big Xyzs and big synchros. So now he's going to proceed to attack. So he's going to attack the Shizuku. I only have 4 spells, I believe. So that's subtract 400. Still, that's 100 attacks stronger than my Shizuku. And after that, all his monsters become stronger once again. Nope, take the hit. Take the hit. Take 100. Brandish Maiden Ray. Special summon from the graveyard. So I can block another hit. Definitely not getting close to lethal. Okay, well now I'm going to take the hit from the Wolf. Wolf is going to take her out. I'm not going to special summon out the Kagadi because Kagadi would just get wiped, and I have nothing in the graveyard to actually retrieve. So I take a 21, and I also take a 17. So that's 38. Putting me at 41 right now. I do have some form of hope. I still have the set Hornet bit available. So if I really want to go back into one of my other Link monsters, I still can. No, any kind of top deck would be pretty decent right now. So he's activating his Mizuki. No. Is he going to Mizuki? Wait, hold on. It was a Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave got rid of the Solitaire, so Solitaire got banished. Okay, so that's what happened right there. Okay, so he's going into Curious. Unfortunately, Curious is going to get stolen by the Widow Anchor, and the Widow Anchor is going to get banished because the Widow Anchor was actually set from multi-roll. So it's a bit hard to see with a bit of glare there, so I just can't keep up a little bit. Now this is still the end phase. End phase going to activate, oh there it is, the Hornet bit, and using multi-roll I'm going to reset that Hornet bit. Now that Hornet bit will be banished next time it goes to, well, it leaves the field basically. And that's the thing, you want to maintain everything available, but if you can't, this is going to be a very, very difficult thing to do. But luckily, Marcus right now is actually playing with no hand, and he doesn't have access to his Snow. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like I drew into anything very useful. I am going to tag out though. I'm going to link up, probably straight into a Shizuku. Kagari has nothing to retrieve in the graveyard. And as long as Brandish Maiden Ray is in the graveyard, I can perhaps outlive this. Now in my hand, of course, I did activate Toon Table of Contents previously. There is still a copy of Toon Cannon Soldier. I am probably waiting for the opportunity to go into a Darkest Diablos. That could definitely turn things around, especially in a low resource setting where he's not targetable and can't change, well, he can't be tributed. That's there's a lot of benefits to that, you know, anti-kaiju monster. So if Marcus takes damage, he does have 1,000 Blade in the graveyard. But currently, I don't even have enough damage to output even onto his Wolf. So in other words, he's about to keep his Curious, and he's going to keep his Wolf on the field. But this game would go south very quickly if he does draw into a Fairy Tale Snow. Because the moment he gets that Snow, he is going to get to revive his Giant Rex as well. Not to mention, he's also going to have a Minerva if I want to be a bit more specific of how he's going to get there. So end phase, I get to, with Shizuku's effect, I get to add any of the Brandish Maiden cards to my hand that's not already in my graveyard. And to be honest, I don't have any of them in the graveyard right now because the only copy of Widow Anchor got banished, and Hornet Bit is right here. So I'm going to set one card and then get my search now. Man, I don't look happy at all. But Marcus isn't feeling too safe either because we're both very committed to the current field already. Now there's one way I can do this. I either go into a Widow Anchor and reset it onto the field once again and then protect myself, or I can hope to survive and go into a Startup Engage. And with 3 cards in the graveyard, Startup Engage will lead and snowball into something crazy. The amount of advantage coming from that card is going to be insane, but the draw for turn, and then another draw and another search, that would put me basically with a Pot of Greed. And with Kagari still available, that Pot of Greed gets to be activated twice. So that is the scary thing. So I am going to go with the Startup Engage, the card that I sought after for so long, a card that you should run 3 of. Probably when this set is released, that is going to be a short printed card. Sorry guys, not going to be very budget. Oh, so you got the Trick Clown? He's not going into anything. He's going to go for the swing. He's going to kill off the monster first. So yeah, I do take a bit of damage right there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I am just taking 200 damage from this one. And I have a face down monster. But before I do that, I am going to activate Ray. Ray is going to summon out. And he's going to kill the Ray. And he's going to swing into my Toon Cannon Soldier. Yes, so damage thwarted for the turn. In other words, I survived it. If he had a snowman, he would have pushed really, really hard at this point. I got a little lucky here, not gonna lie. Not seeing a snow. Snow would have forced a push. So top deck, activate Startup Engage, and this is how the deck is supposed to look like on the first turn. So the choice is Widow Anchor. Widow Anchor is actually a pretty decent card to actually use. Now I actually have to put a die on that multi-roll just because the sheer number of spells I'm going to activate, I have to keep track of all of them now. Widow Anchor was a must because Widow Anchor will allow me to take control of my opponent's monster. Now be aware that you cannot activate some of these spells and traps if I control a monster in the main monster zone. So I got to draw 1. Okay. And what's coming up after this? If I'm not mistaken, I still have that Hornet Bit from before. Yes. So I get to summon out the token. This Hornet Bit is supposed to be, yeah, it's supposed to be banished because it did come back from the multi-roll. Now we got to go to Kagari. Kagari gets to add back that one card right there. We'll Startup Engage. Startup Engage is going to give me another search and another plus. So this is why people really don't like Brandish Maiden. It's just because all their stuff isn't once per turn. And I get to pop one of his monsters now. Now due to the fact that Marcus does not have any sort of back row, I chose to add the Afterburner rather than adding Jamming Wave. Jamming Wave is usually a bit better at destroying monsters just because it does not target. So add a Rhoda. Okay, I guess I'm using Rhoda to add a Brandish Maiden Array. Any sort of spell that you play just starts to synergize like crazy. And that Kagari is actually getting quite strong as well. Every single spell you put in there, she gains 100 attack. Okay. Take it easy, Tombox. What you gonna do? See, since this whole deck revolves around not having stuff in the main monster zone, it's really useful to carry a monster that can wipe the board, should you say. Yeah, wipe the board half the time. So I'm using an Afterburner on that Trick Clown. So he's going to pay 1,000 for the Trick Clown, and he's going to summon another 1,000 Blade. But that's all actually within the knowledge of him gonna do that, because I do have the Widow Anchor, and Widow Anchor is going to take the Curious. Curious is a Link 3 plus my Link 1, and that way I can get rid of Curious without giving him a card. We're just gonna go into Topologic Bomber Dragon. So Topologic Bomber Dragon is very scary because it's a pretty good standalone monster, but it is also like frequent Dark Hole. You can trigger your own Dark Hole using this card right here, the Hornet Bit. Special summon out the token right onto one of the zone it points to, and let's go for the board wipe. And I seem to have already maxed out on basically the number of spells I can actually re-add, so I guess it doesn't really matter how much I keep track right now. And I'm gonna go for the swing for 3k. That puts him down to 4k. I believe I'm actually gonna go to the end phase, and the end phase is going to look very, very disappointing for Marcus. And set 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna show him what I set. Okay, that one card shouldn't have been shown, but it actually just secures it even more. What the shown card was a card by the grave, but I do have a startup engage, and I have all the interaction I need to wipe the board once again, because there is going to be a Hornet Bit, and proceeds to scoop once I activate it, because it's just gonna wipe the board once again, and I do have a Brandish Maiden Ray ready for the attack. So 1 game apiece. Let's go into game 3. Now, Marcus was generous enough to let me go first. He actually wanted to test it out a bit more, and since these are practice games, why not? Seems like I opened with a Toon Table of Contents. That's already a pretty good start. But Toon Table is only good if you actually can pair it off with a Widow Anchor, or perhaps even better, if you can actually pair it off with a Startup Engage. So, adding a Toon Cannon Soldier to my hand. Normally, by games 2 and 3, if we actually play with a proper side deck, that card would have been Toon Cyber Dragon. I would definitely switch it out, because due to the fact that he does use his extra monster zone, Chimera Tech Fleet Dragon is a very good option as a free way to clear off one of the strongest monsters, probably a Saryuja. Starting off with the Hornet. Now remember again, guys, I don't have Needle Fiber in the extra deck, and that's why I am not doing the Kagari play. Well, I guess I am kind of going to do a Kagari just to add the Hornet Bit. But I'm not going to go into like any sort of big Needle Fiber play, because that's not possible. Maybe once the card gets announced in TCG, then maybe we'll do it. Hopefully it's not going to be like a YCS prize card. Oh my god, think about it. Pay to win. I seem to be giving it a bit more thought into this play right now. I haven't normal summoned yet, but I am already tagging out. Just keeping the zones pointing to the center. Set 1, normal summon altitude cannon soldier. So in other words, I can't attack with that monster anyway, but I can still use it for the burn effect. So I'm gonna activate the burn effect. Hit him for a good 500, tributing it off. Oh, that only means one thing. I have a Darkest Diablos in hand. I'm going to trigger him and special summon onto the field, and I'm going to reduce my opponent's hand size down. The only reason I can think of for doing this particular move is because I don't exactly have too good of a hand, and I want to minimize the amount of cards my opponent has in their hand so that it just lowers the chances. Perhaps I hit something useful, but now that, in hindsight, thinking about what I just did, if I let him put back a wolf into the deck, well, that actually is really bad for me because I put a live wolf back into the deck. So opening up with a charge of the Light Brigade, milling Brilliant Fusion. Oh my god, he hit a wolf. That is not good. So wolf already can kill off the Shizuku, and I did summon out the Shizuku through the effect of a token, or not the effect of a token, but using the token as material. So he gets a wolf, he has his Raiden. Activate Pot of Desires. This is looking very familiar. What is going on? Okay, so he bashes 10. I have no hand trap available. My deck does run hand traps, I'm just not seeing them. Hand traps adds an element of surprise in the back row because normally the Brandish Maiden back row are mostly exposed and practically public knowledge. And he's gonna throw in, rather than a Trick Clown, he's throwing in the Damage Juggler. So he's going for the Hat Tricker. Now, one monster that is extremely good against Brandish Maiden, Naturia Beast. And there's many ways of actually getting access to it. Giant Rex is a really good way. There's also Hat Tricker, which is also Earth. So the only thing you need to follow up with that is a Glow Up Bulb. And Glow Up Bulb is actually quite popular in the OCG scene right now, due to the fact that that's what people like to do. People that play Shaddolls in their engine, they throw Glow Up Bulb into the graveyard through Shaddol Fusion. Oh my god, Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn basically ended the game for me. So he took away one of my safety nets here. The safety net being the Darkest Diablos. Yeah, so he's gonna proceed to actually get the normal summon here. He's gonna go to... Oh, hit 1,000 Blade. Very nice hits for Marcus. And he's going to normal summon a Giant Rex. One Brilliant Fusion leading up into a board that is 5 monsters already. Well, and he did get the Glow Bulb, so I'm immediately activating my my Hornet Bit. See, that was my way of actually getting my card back, and perhaps I do have I did search a card during the end phase as well, so I did have access to a Link summon. However, now I'm not feeling so safe anymore. He went into a Saryuja, and I was going to Ogre it, but I feel like there's a better target. I'd rather hit off the Nat Beast. But perhaps that was a mistake because Saryuja does offer 2,800 worth of damage. And now I guess we get to watch the 60 card deck thrive at what they do, extending into an endless amount of combos. And I don't look too happy right now. I'm like, oh damn. Okay, so it seems like he is still gonna get the Nat Beast. And the Nat Beast now is boosted by 300 attack. So that's a 2500 nat beast. Not something that's like easily killable, but I do have a Ghost Ogre in hand, so I do have a chance to take it out. And remember, Naturia Beast must stay on the field to actually successfully negate, and we have a Snow. And Snow did banish the Spirit Master, so Spirit Master is going to trigger and kill off. There goes Shizuku. And he's going to Ovare into Minerva. Man, he is really extending this combo as far as he can. Oh my god. Snow, welcome back. Glow Ball was done your job. All the ashes, hand traps useless, Giant Rex. Giant Rex gets summoned, and we also of course get our Snow. Oh boy. Now he still can attack, and I don't think I can block enough of this. He's gonna hit with a Giant Rex since Giant Rex can't attack directly. Take the 1850. Just gonna calculate all this right here. This is game. I actually should have done something, but even if I did use that Ogre, it is not enough because that Ogre, he basically had enough damage for 2 games right there. So, in summary, congratulations Marcus, and thank you for helping me out on this big thing. And shout outs to all my patrons for helping me actually acquire this kind of setup. Now, in terms of the game summary here, Brilliant Fusion sets up multiple plays, sets up very frequent OTKs. I didn't get to hit him with a hand trap, so that's unfortunate for me, and I didn't get to open with an engage, and he took away my Diablos. So those are all factors that actually led to him taking this match. But funny enough, we actually did play a couple extra games here, so you guys can quickly take a look at that. See, when I did open with everything I had, it was ridiculous what kind of board I can establish. I just finished with like Shizuku, 4 live back rows, and I still have 4 cards in hand. It was pretty insane. But that's why a lot of people are hating on this deck. Anti-spell fragments are going to be important. You're going to need those drone lockbirds. You just want to shut them out. But if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit that thumbs up button. If you guys, want to see more stuff from MST.TV, also hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and as always, don't forget to hold on to your... Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.